Hello everyone. I welcome you all to this dissection video of back of forearm. Forearm extends from elbow joint to the wrist joint and it is divided into anterior and posterior compartments. Anterior compartment is also called as the flexor compartment or front of forearm, while posterior compartment is also known as the extensor compartment or back of forearm. In this video we will see the back of forearm. I'm sure this video will be very helpful for many of you who are dissecting the forearm or who are preparing for their practical exams and want to revise this topic in short period. For this purpose, at the end of this video, I have included important Viva questions. So watch this video till the end and let's begin. We'll see the dissection of back of forearm in three parts. In first part, we'll see the muscles. Second part, extensor retinaculum. In third part, we'll see the posterior interosseous nerve, followed by Viva questions. So let's start with the muscles of back of forearm. Now we will see the muscles of posterior compartment of forearm. Posterior compartment of forearm is also called as the extensor compartment of the forearm. Here we get total 12 muscles. Out of 12 muscles, 7 muscles are superficial and 5 muscles are deep. First we will see the superficial muscles. Here we get the triangular muscle called anconeus muscle. This is anconeus muscle. Three muscles we get along the lateral border and they are the brachioradialis. This muscle is a brachioradialis. Deep to the brachioradialis we get extensor carpi radialis longus. Still deep to that we get extensor carpi radialis brevis. So all these three muscles along the lateral border or radial border having radialis in their name: brachioradialis, extensor carpi radialis longus and extensor carpi radialis brevis. Three on the posterior aspect we get and they are the extensor digitorum. This is the extensor digitorum. This muscle is extensor digiti minimi, moving the little finger. So this is extensor digiti minimi and this is extensor carpi ulnaris. So the 7 superficial muscles. From the 7 superficial muscle, here we get the anconeus triangular muscle. Out of remaining 6, 3 are along the lateral border with the radialis in their name: brachioradialis, extensor carpi radialis longus, extensor carpi radialis brevis. 3 on the posterior aspect are the extensor digitorum. This is extensor digitorum, extensor digiti minimi and extensor carpi ulnaris. This is extensor carpi ulnaris. Now deep muscles. There are 5 deep muscles in the posterior compartment of forearm and they are, this is one of the deep muscle called supinator, which forms the floor of the cubital fossa. So this is supinator muscle. 3 are the muscles for the thumb and they are abductor pollicis longus. So this tendon is the tendon of abductor pollicis longus. This is the tendon of extensor pollicis brevis. So this is the tendon of extensor pollicis brevis. This is abductor pollicis longus and this is the tendon of the extensor pollicis longus. And one more deep muscle we get and that is for the index finger, which moves the index finger. See here. So this is extensor indicis muscle. So out of 5 deep muscles, one is supinator. 3 are for the thumb: abductor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis brevis, extensor pollicis longus and extensor indicis, which is for the index finger. On the posterior aspect of the wrist joint, the deep fascia is thickened to form the extensor retinaculum, which is about 2 cm broad. Laterally, this is thumb. Because of this, we say this is lateral side. So laterally, it is attached to the anterior border of the radius. Medially, it is attached to the styloid process of ulna, pisiform bone, and the triquetral bone. From the undersurface of this extensor retinaculum to the posterior surface of radius, there extend the septa, and because of those septa, area beneath the extensor retinaculum is divided into the 6 osseofacial compartments, and those compartments are labeled from lateral to the medial as first compartment. So this is the first compartment which lies beneath the extensor retinaculum, which contains abductor pollicis longus and extensor pollicis brevis in the first compartment. In the second compartment, we get there are 2 tendons and the tendons are extensor carpi radialis longus and extensor carpi radialis brevis in the second compartment. In the third compartment, we get the tendon of extensor pollicis longus, while in the fourth compartment, we get the tendon of extensor digitorum. Deep to that is the tendon of extensor indicis muscle. Still deep to that, even The vessels and nerve are present in the fourth compartment, and they are anterior introosseous artery. This artery is anterior introosseous artery, and nerve is posterior introosseous. This is a posterior introosseous nerve. So all these four structures are present in the fourth compartment: extensor digitorum, extensor indicis, anterior introosseous artery, and posterior introosseous nerve. So this is the fourth compartment. In the fifth compartment we get only one tendon, and that is the tendon of extensor digiti minimi, that is the tendon to the little finger. And in the sixth compartment there is only one tendon, and that is the tendon of extensor carpi ulnaris. Nerve of the posterior compartment of the forearm is the deep branch of the radial nerve, also called as the posterior introosseous nerve. This posterior introosseous nerve, it enters in the posterior compartment by piercing the supinator muscle. So this is supinator muscle. It is pierced by the posterior introosseous nerve or deep branch of the radial nerve. In the posterior compartment it gives three short branches. These three short branches, they supply the extensor digitorum, extensor digiti minimi, and extensor carpi ulnaris. Three short branches to the extensor digitorum, extensor digiti minimi, and the extensor carpi ulnaris. After that it gives two long branches. Out of two long branches, this is the lateral long branch. This branch is a lateral long branch which supplies abductor pollicis longus and extensor pollicis brevis muscle, while the medial long branch, this is the medial long branch. This medial long branch, it supplies extensor pollicis longus muscle and extensor indicis muscle. After that, the posterior introosseous nerve, this posterior introosseous nerve runs on the posterior surface of the introosseous membrane along with the anterior introosseous artery. Then it passes through the fourth osseofacial tunnel formed just deep to the extensor retinaculum and ends in the pseudoganglia on the posterior aspect of the wrist joint, supplies the wrist joint and the carpal joints. This was the dissection part of the back of the forearm. Now we will move to the Viva questions. Here I have included some important and commonly asked Viva questions on this topic. For all practical and Viva exams, identification of all dissected structures is must. That means one should be able to identify the muscle, vessel or nerve. Coming to the very basic question as forearm and its divisions, that means extent of forearm and its divisions or compartments. Muscles of the back of forearm can be asked for their divisions. That means they are divided into superficial group and the deep group. These muscles can be asked for their attachments, nerve supply and actions. Supinators and pronators of the forearm can be asked. Extensor retinaculum can be asked for its attachments, compartments formed beneath it and the structures passing through those compartments. Other questions include nerve of the back of forearm, that is deep branch of the radial nerve or posterior introosseous nerve, can be asked for its origin, course, branches and distribution. Next question, name the muscles directly supplied by radial nerve. Out of 12 muscles of the back of the forearm, 9 are supplied by the posterior introosseous nerve, while 3 are supplied by the radial nerve, and they are anconeus, brachioradialis and extensor carpi radialis longus. Anconeus gets its nerve supply when radial nerve lies in the radial groove or spiral groove, while the brachioradialis and extensor carpi radialis longus are supplied by the radial nerve when it lies in the lower part of the anterior compartment of the arm. Next question is, why does anterior introosseous artery enter posterior compartment of forearm? Now, for the anterior compartment of the forearm, there are two large arteries. They are ulnar artery and radial artery. But for the posterior compartment of the forearm, there is a posterior introosseous artery which is small in size and is not sufficient enough to supply the whole of the back of the forearm. So to enforce the blood supply to the lower part of the back of the forearm, anterior introosseous artery enters the posterior compartment by piercing the introosseous membrane at the level of the upper border of the pronator quadratus muscle. So that's all about the back of forearm or posterior compartment or extensor compartment of the forearm. I'm sure you all will find it very useful. Thank you for watching.